Chapter 7. Billy Jake Carver at the Hotel. For Billy Jake Carver, things never went as planned. His entire life was improvisational recovery from scripts poorly written, lines not rehearsed, and an unforgiving audience who hurled sharp and heavy objects at the doomed thespian. Now, on the eve of what could be the biggest day of his life, his bride-to-be was threatening to drop the kid a month early. What Billy Jake Carver attributed to a loss of nerves on his fiance's part, he now re-evaluated. Jamie just wanted to be the center of attention. This was supposed to be a big day for everyone, and she just had to hog the spotlight. Billy Jake Carver had driven every mile from Houston to Greater Memphis, and now he would not even be granted a nice night's rest that he paid much too much for. Your water didn't fucking break. You just pissed your fucking pants. You can't fool me. But Jamie was adamant that her time had come. Then you just take a blanket and crawl into the shithouse and drop the little monster there. I'm going to get some rest, and I better not hear no screaming from you. But then Billy Jake Carver softened his tone. If you're still complaining while I wake up, we'll drop you off at the hospital. But you ain't ruining my big day. Along with the usual discomfort of child delivery, Jamie would experience a fit of prolonged vomiting that would awaken Billy Jake Carver from his slumber. He would barge into the bathroom where Jamie rested her face on the porcelain bowl. This is the last time I say this. Shut the fuck up. He then urinated in the sink and snarled, "Next time I'm pissing in your fat-ass face," as he completed his micturition. He slammed the door shut and returned to bed. When Billy Jake Carver awoke from his deep slumber, he found Jamie naked on the bathroom floor, quietly moaning and sobbing. Through his sleepy eyes, he could spot something he had not seen at first glance. Jamie was clutching their newborn daughter to her breast, but the baby was so still, it wasn't moving. As Billy Jake Carver crawled next to his prone fiancé, his newborn daughter lifted her hand ever so faintly towards her father. Billy Jake Carver pivoted and raced back to his bed and called 911 from the hotel phone. After summoning an ambulance, Billy Jake Carver called the front desk and frantically demanded the assistance of a doctor until emergency help arrived. The perky feminine voice congratulated Billy Jake Carver on his new addition, but then stated that her medical options were limited. She was willing, however, to dispatch extra towels and blankets until emergency help arrived. Billy Jake Carver grew suspicious of hidden charges, and before accepting the offer, he made a pertinent inquiry. "Does the hotel have a policy where you get an extra night free if your old lady has a baby on the premises?" And the perky feminine voice used an amazing amount of verbiage to say no. But the front desk graciously extended the checkout time by 2 hours and reminded Billy Jake Carver of the delicious continental breakfast that was included in the cost of his room. She insisted that the new father sample the hybrid grapefruit before rejoining his family at the hospital. Billy Jake Carver called Derek and Jenny and brought them up to speed. Derek asked if the 2-hour checkout had been extended for them as well, and if not, should he shower in Billy Jake Carver's bathroom because Jenny took a long time to get ready in the morning. Billy Jake Carver advised Derek to share the bathroom with his girlfriend and told him he would be back after the ambulance left. When the ambulance personnel arrived on the scene, they would be accompanied by police and fire personnel. Billy Jake Carver took notice of the unusual concern the emergency personnel showed for both mother and child. He expected the uniforms to wheel them away. He didn't expect IVs and O2 dispensers and reinforcements. As he had done with the hotel personnel the prior evening, Billy Jake Carver left the authorities with a phony name for himself. He supplied Jamie's correct name and told them he had not yet decided on his daughter's name. He would make whatever changes needed to be made to his daughter's birth certificate at a later time. For now, there was no need to establish for his parole officer that he had made an unauthorized trip to Tennessee or Mississippi or anywhere else outside of Harris County, Texas. Eventually, the emergency personnel transported mother and daughter to the nearest hospital where they would both be placed under intensive care. Billy Jake Carver took full advantage of the hybrid grapefruit and cereal and cheese Danish and coffee as Derek and Jenny completed their grooming in his room. The trio checked out at 2 p.m. and headed to the nearest Burger King, where all three feasted on supersized Whopper combos. Over mouthfuls of heavenly delight, Billy Jake Carver announced a change in plans. Billy Jake Carver would now double as driver and shooter. Shortly after dark, they would arrive at the Pierce residence. Billy Jake Carver would back the minivan into the driveway, kill the engine, and the mission would proceed as planned. Derek and Jenny nodded in agreement. The threesome ordered milkshakes to go, and Billy Jake Carver used the GPS to direct them to the hospital where his wife and daughter were being treated. Derek and Jenny rode in the back seat and rehearsed their roles on the game screen. En route to the hospital, Billy Jake Carver played a tune he had waited all his life to play. It was Gold Grill's cover of Phil Collins' In the Air Tonight that had been featured in the soundtrack of the second Casablanca remake. All three of them knew the lyrics by heart, and they all chimed in with the lead singer. Billy Jake Carver had goosebumps. At the hospital, Billy Jake Carver was denied access to his fiancée and daughter. The threesome hung around for a couple of hours in hopes of receiving an update, but none would be delivered. With the afternoon slipping away, Billy Jake Carver announced that their time had come. The threesome walked through the halls with Billy Jake Carver flanked on each side by his partners in crime. They tried, as best they could, to march in unison. With every step, they hummed their newly christened theme song. As they exited the hospital and marched through the parking lot, they sang the words at the top of their lungs. I can feel it coming in the air tonight, and I have waited for this moment all of my life. Oh Lord, oh Lord.